I'm scared, and I've been scared for a long time. A few years ago, before I came to this school, I refused to try new things and come out of my shell. I didn't even do any sports nor activities because I didn't want to come out of my comfort zone and try new things. When I was 10, I changed schools and came to ZIS, where I set down a personal goal I wanted to follow. What prompted me to do this? One of the main reasons why was because my mental and physical health was not the best, you see. So I aimed to make myself stronger in both those ways. Well, what was my main goal? My goal was that I wanted to come out of my shell, open up, and little by little try new things. For example, during recess periods, I would go outside, play soccer, or socialize with my friends. One of the main reasons I joined this TED Talk was because I wanted to try something new. Well, here I am. And of course, I was afraid I might get laughed at or I might not make it under the spotlight today. But at least I would still have a little bit of fun trying something new. The fear of change has always plagued me, and that's why I set out to find out why I fear change. This is the story of how. Wait, first I gotta slow down. What is fear? According to kidshealth.org, fear is an emotional reaction to danger. And it's one of the most important human reactions and emotions. It's basically coded into the brain, and it makes us alert to dangers or acts, like a warning signal. Without fear, things would go horribly wrong. Children walking on highways, people constantly hurting themselves and others, and much more. According to the American Psychology Association dictionary, there are 4 main types of fear: fight fear, flight fear, freeze fear, and faint fear. When the mind comes across a threat, it may choose to fight it off. That's fight fear. And it's embedded into many animals' brains as a way of defense. For example, the scorpion. It's not only embedded into its nervous system and brain, but also its body. The scorpion has a built-in defense system that injects venom into predator or prey. Us Homo sapiens could also choose to fight off a threat. Historically, when threatened by wild animals, we could use tools or weapons to defend ourselves. Well, today we're more likely to fight other people. Fight fear also causes anger, which is why the famous Agnya Rajneesh once said, "Anger is fear in disguise." Fight fear also causes a release of adrenaline into the bloodstream, which could prepare you for dangerous or stressful situations. This also happens when you're angry. All this is a complete opposite for flight fear, when the mind feels like it can't fight off the threat, so it chooses to escape, like running away or hiding. That's flight fear. Then we have freeze fear. This is when the body shuts off all abilities to move until the threat passes. This is seen in many small animals like rodents or cats. I'm sure you all have been strolling down the street and seen one just stop and stare at you. According to the National Institute of Medicine, this is because they don't want predators to smell their scent or detect their movement. Well, us humans also have this trait. For example, if you hear something unbelievable or see something horrifying, you might freeze. Well, at least for a few seconds. Then finally, we have faint fear. You know how animals sometimes play dead and give off a scent? Well, fainting is a human equivalent to that. Now, let me get into some of the main fears and phobias most people have. The intense fear of water, thalassophobia, the fear of heights, acrophobia, the fear of spiders, arachnophobia, and maybe the fear of public speaking, glossophobia. Well, I had the fear of change, metathesiophobia. According to a paper written by Jonathan Sharon, humans fear change because they never know what might happen next. They're afraid of unknown outcomes and maybe the loss of control in the situation and the problems that might arise. All this makes the brain worried and make up more and more scenarios, which in turn makes the brain even more worried. The fear of failure also comes into play. Why try if you don't know if the outcome would be good or bad? For me, I was afraid if I played sports, I would be extremely horrible and bad at it. And if I signed up for this TED Talk, I might not make it to the stage, and I might get laughed at. This fear of change can come from many things. Maybe you or people around you have experienced or dealt with fear, which can make you very pessimistic and see the world in the most negative ways. This was a case for me. I was very pessimistic, and I saw everything in the worst ways. For example, in a team sport, even if my team was barely losing, or we were losing a bit, I would still say, "No, we're gonna lose." I've been told about my negativity many times, and it's only during researching about this topic that I finally understood why. Well, how do you face these fears? According to the American Psychology Association, analyzing and understanding your fears is a way of preventing you being scared, and it might make you not scared at all. Then there's exposure therapy. By exposing yourself more and more, little by little, each time, to your fears, you can actually overcome that fear. For example, somebody with a fear of public speaking or glossophobia could practice giving speeches in front of people, or somebody who has a fear of water could go swimming more. Somebody who has a fear of dogs could interact with them more. Exposure therapy has been scientifically proven to be a very helpful treatment against social disorders, panic disorders, fears, phobias, OCD, or post-traumatic stress disorder. I use both these ways to help understand myself and face my fear. I researched and analyzed my fear, and now I'm using exposure therapy to tell you and the world about my story. Thank you.